Take two. And back up here. Okay.
Okay. Any additions to the agenda?
No, I do not have any additions or corrections, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, that being said, I would move the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Consent agenda, we have minutes from the December 6th meeting, there's warrants for May 20th and June 5th. Which is May 29th and June 5th. Commissioners warrants, $138,456.82. Hospital warrants, $290,392.43, and we need 2026 budget.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Morning. Morning.
All right, first up for me today will be some project updates. And all the updates I have are on page one. Seal coat project. I got back to my office after the last meeting and had a message that they weren't gonna start till a week later, so I told them it would be later that day, and then I'm cool, but that's all about stuff. So that is done now with the exception of striping. Overlays, they are done except for the white edge striping, but usually leave that for a while. You know, when they shoulder the road, it tends to get pretty messy, and if you stripe on top of that right away, much of it falls off, so we usually wait a little bit, so. Then County Road 25 project grading's complete. I think they're working on topsoil this morning actually, and most of the gravel's on there, so then all that's left is paved.
Shouldering the Trotsky Road.
We're gonna do that.
Yeah, but it's on our list.
Yep. It was a very, very small quantity. We put it in the plans that we could eliminate it from the contract if need be, and the price came in bad for now high, so that's why we're eliminating that. We would pay that premium, so we'll take care of it ourselves, but our guys are gonna do that.
Just so it's on the list.
Yeah, well, it's for sure on the list, but we probably should have got up to that by now. Maybe they're gonna wait to put the mowers on actually, so. Okay. Great, that's it for the project updates. Next up, annual report follow-up. Did anybody have any questions on that? No, it's the same format as the regular one. Okay. If you do, anytime, feel free to stop and give me a call, and I'll get to the bottom of it, so. All right, next up for me then would be, I finally got that surplus equipment list put together. I'll just run through it quickly here. The truss bridge, we've had numerous people contact us over the years wanting it in the worst way, and then when they measure it, they kind of lose interest in it. It's pretty wide, so it'd be hard to move. I think we tried to give it to the city or whoever a while back for maybe phase 4, thought it looked nice out there, and they expressed some interest for a while, but I don't think it's for them either, so. It's time to just get rid of it, so. Real guard off the Max semi, nothing wrong with it, works fine, it's just heavy, and that truck's already super heavy because we hauled the excavator with that, so I think we just got rid of that, lose some weight. The Wisconsin engine, that's off of our old shouldering machine. We tried to sell that via surplus equipment, but didn't get any takers, so we just pulled this engine off and sold the rest for scrap. But this engine does run, I have a video of it running. That little recycle shed, I don't even know what that's for, pretty trying to figure out, so.
Cardboard way back, I think.
Okay,
Got it first started.
okay, but I mean, just, you know, use for anything that's kind of in the way, so we just thought we'd get rid of it, kind of be a little bit. Two pump trailers there, they're both from the eighties, there's some frame cracks, tongue cracks on them, I don't remember which had which, I think we'll send a little of each, I don't know, I think it's time to just turn those into. Let some farmer buy them, you know, use them to haul manure or whatever, so. The tailgate there, I do. We haven't been using that because we have a shouldering machine now, but Doug pointed out to me that that works well for filling sandbags, so. I'd like to strike that, we'll keep that. Garage doors, I don't even know where they came from, I'm guessing they came off our shop at one point, but it's just sitting there, so I just wanted to get them cleaned up and. So I'm not sure on the condition of those that, you remember, I don't,
No, not for sure, they must have been out of that back shop, but
that's my best guess.
no, I don't remember much about them.
Either way, they're not new, they'd be fairly used up, but I mean, if you're have a shop at home or something, want to put them in. You know, because it's a windbreak thing or using a shelving, I think they work fine for that. Then the valve machine, that's been in that, I think, exact same spot, up in the loft at the highway department since before I got there, and I don't see us ever using that again, so. Yeah, probably. The trailer, that interests me a little bit, I don't ever remember using that, but it looks like a military type thing.
Steve,
It came from back in the day when, after the Korean War, the government was giving away stuff, and we had a whole medical supply facility out at a building by the vocational school. And that trailer came with it too, I think Harlan Neff got that years
I
ago.
remember Richard Starrett would use it a little bit.
Yeah,
That's fell off.
yeah, long time ago.
So is this something that somebody would like restore, pull hang one of those Willys Jeeps or whatever, and parade type of thing?
Could be.
There may be some interest that way, but
Sure. There you go.
for highway department purposes, that's kind of like, so.
It's not been used for 35, 40 years.
Yeah, I don't ever remember using it.
No,
I've
we
been there all
didn't, I
twice,
didn't
so-
use it.
Okay, so there we go. So-
I might like to restore it.
Yeah, it says, if you look close at it, it says something about Marky on the side of it, so. Then that takes us to the last page, there's two pickups, they both got over 200,000 miles and they're fairly worn out, so.
That should be, I'm trying to picture which one that is that one?
Bruce drove that for a long time. Yeah, that's probably how you remember it.
Yeah, I remember what engine.
They're both V8s, but I think the
Oh.
Dodge is a 318 and then Chevy's like 4.6 or something like that, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll get
Well,
more
I-
pictures and more information on it.
I remember the Dodge, but Chevy, that's too much.
Yeah, Bruce drove that for a long time. I don't even know if that one has a receiver hitch on it, actually.
I'm not,
So,
that one looks pretty good shape.
that's good angle.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the, sure,
Yeah.
was that the shop was using and I,
It went to an outlining shop.
yeah.
I haven't seen it in quite a while. I think it's Bruce around.
I'm just curious.
It's time, so. So, that being said, I think. Board action declared for sure.
Yep.
Then, as far as selling the stuff, I'm fine doing it however you want. I mean, we've done. Posted online before and I've opened sealed bids at these meetings. I'm fine doing that. If the county has some type of online thing, I'm fine doing that too. Thing I've noticed with that is there's a lot of timer kickers, a lot of your emails are coming in the middle of the night that we have to respond, get time to respond to, is it don't always.
Pickups might do better than one.
They might.
Yeah.
Yep, they might.
The other things are not worth much.
Yeah, some of these things are not probably worth their time putting online, but
Right.
some probably are. I mean, I'll do it however you want.
I think maybe online, the trust bridge, we might get more manufacturing.
That might, yep, we'd have to talk about that. Yep. Like that trailer, oddly enough, I don't know if that trailer might do well online,
They might.
I don't know.
Unless you want to pick and choose. Cause, you know, the garage door and the valve grinder, you know. They almost no value, the garage guard, no value, basically.
Do you want, like, if you're fine with, you guys are fine with everything that we have listed here, we could talk about it internally and propose what goes online and what we just do locally offline.
We've mentioned in the past coordinate with the medical center because they got surplus as well too. Is that a possibility? Is that just two?
But it would be an auction, you'd still put it online. Let's say we're put it online together,
Possibly.
like have an auction, but that was, did not know.
It's been years ago that we did a public auction fairgrounds with them out. I don't think we barely got the cost for auction here.
That's,
You know, enough stuff, it's gonna draw enough people to take it anyway.
that's my feelings about the online stuff, because we have to pay a commission on that, or whatever they call that. And then it's like, if it's taking a few hours of our time to run down all these weird pictures that we gotta take and reply to these things, like, it's, doesn't.
Some of the online things are, the government, they're hardly anything.
Yeah. I wonder if we could just what was doing with our own website, advertising on our websites, take bids here, just.
Yeah, I know, you don't, you don't get people, let me tell you, the pickups, there's gonna be a lot of,
Interesting.
and maybe the bridge, you know, somebody who knows where.
That's,
At least to me, it should, well, most of the stuff should be outside, online.
So I think back to the old sign truck, we didn't think we'd be that much money for that.
Urban.
Or no, there you go,
Yeah.
that one too. So they're not advertising on them,
That's-
they're getting a lot of money.
So that tack truck is probably the
Yeah.
happiest I've ever been, because that went way up high.
That's good.
Way north.
Deep River Falls or something like that, I don't
Unless
remember.
you guys want us to check on it, figure it out or whatever.
So I can do that if you want, and
And maybe
Brings-
Bill, or I don't know, there are government websites that, I don't remember the names at the moment, but like maybe.
Min
Bill-
Bid is
maybe
one.
Bill or there's .gov and stuff.
yeah,
Maybe you should check on that a little bit.
okay, I can do that. I'll bring these back later, but in the meantime, you know, you guys have some time, want to look at this and give me suggestions too, on what you want to see online, that's fine, but. You know, the whole, if we're not gonna get a lot for something, and it's gonna take a couple hours of our time for some tire kicker and a can or something, that we're not gonna buy anything, like, well, then I'd almost rather just give it away to somebody locally. More than like give it away, you know, if you did. Lots or something, I'd rather see that.
I would like you to touch base with Pete Swanson as well too.
And. Just see what my options are.
Well, if he's got any items as well too.
It's just such disparate stuff.
Yeah.
Hospital stuff, way different than this stuff.
Yeah. Yep, it is. Yeah, I don't know what they sell, but you know, we can, I think. Not that long ago, we put pictures together like this and just made a weird little bid for them, if you can bid on whatever they wanted, and they'll just seal bids here, so I mean, that. The type of equipment he has up there, but you know, we can. Be together too, it's a difference. But I guess maybe for right now, you're okay with me getting rid of everything I have listed here.
You need a motion for that?
I don't think so, we'll do the official later, you know, how we're gonna get rid of.
This
stuff.
motion would be today just to declare it as surplus property and dispose of it. I would make a motion. to do that. Recommend.
I would make that motion, please, and jump the rest.
Yeah, that would be something I would ask.
Some dealers that would,
Yeah.
like the bridge, if nothing else, get rid of it.
Someone will look for that,
Well, grinder waste good. The aluminum in the door has gone up in price lately, so
okay. Okay,
they're worthwhile taking apart.
The recommendation is sell what you can and junk the rest.
That's exactly right.
But I wanna see some online information, like for some of this stuff.
yep, we can work on that, so I'll bring that back, later with some recommendations and you guys can tweak that.
You get a second?
I'll second that. Also.
Thank you.
Um,
And a motion and second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed, motion carries.
something else I would want answered before we finalize anything here is this bridge. You know, we're probably gonna get asked to upload it. I don't know if we want to be involved in that or make them do it.
That's fine. That could be part of it. Payloader and we'll win, if they need help. If you can sell it, I would help load it.
Yeah,
You just,
no,
get that,
so the width, they might be too wide to travel down the road. but-
that's up to them.
Right, yeah. Then the other thing would be pickups, you know, if somebody wanted to test drive one, I don't know if we let them do that, or
Right, with us.
maybe we let them if we ride with.
Right.
Truck, hitting with it.
Sure. So that's just a question that I'll have to answer at some point, so I don't know this right now. Okay. Next up for me, we were contacted by Southwest Health and Human Services, or Steve was actually. They wanted to know if they could get gas out of our pumps. We usually get a little bit better rate by buying in bulk, so. We can make that happen on our end, so if the board's okay with that.
Yeah, but I missed that, yeah, but. What else?
Fuel.
Where did they want to?
They want to fill up their car.
Fill up
Fuel.
at our pumps, just like
I guess
transit.
I used that.
Yeah, sorry. Usually we end up with a little bit better rate than up down, because we get the bulk, so, I talked to the county, we can make that happen, I think they have 5 vehicles, so it's not that.
That's true, but you feel like rain. Weird.
No, just one more background that Stacy emailed me yesterday, and she was polling all of the counties that. To see if they would help them with fuel. Some of the counties don't have their own fuel tanks, so that's a moot point, but since we do. And we fill up ambulances, we fill up transit vehicles there as well, and they've got 5 vehicles, you know, small vehicles, and. They could benefit on saving a little money, because it's actually our money that goes and pays eventually, most of it anyway, with all of our counties that are involved, we all pay for fuel, so.
And with our dispenser, that's all automatic as far
Yeah,
as
they've got a
tracking.
It's a car, it's a car.
card, yeah, you've got a card,
Sure,
just like putting your card in.
Yeah. I don't see the reason that we wouldn't do that.
It'll be just a wee little bit of work on our end, doing the billing, which is negligible to me.
We have a motion, I'll take it, motion.
Yeah. I'll say.
One for second, any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, just curious, do you think that will open the door for any other agencies, like the other joint powers want to do similar things? So just throw it out there.
And if it does, is there a downside to it?
I don't know if that's.
Well,
something to consider.
this is. These people are here in Pipestone working.
Yeah,
It won't be, right, it won't be somebody out of Marshall probably stopping.
No, just for the
Maybe
5 cars
just-
they have here.
yeah.
It's pretty,
Out of Lyon County, they do their own in Lyon County, and
it's pretty lit.
Rock County doesn't have fuel
Okay,
pumps, so
so
they
we talking internally, does Soil and Water already use those pumps?
Yes.
Do they? Okay, just wondering.
Yeah, the only real downfall I would see is if we had to start buying more fuel, because we had a bunch of people doing this. And then it dropped really quick and we were contracted at a higher price, and they didn't want to buy from us because it's more expensive, but that's.
Well, they'd have that option.
Yeah.
They could not fill at the highway shop,
Correct.
they could go to the gas station.
So then we might be stuck with a little bit more expensive stuff, but usually our bulk
But that's-
discount more
it's
than
by
covers
car.
it.
Yeah, it's.
I'm just trying to be really. thorough.
They could do our.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You're right,
realistically,
that's
most of
good.
that cars are gonna fill up here.
Yeah.
I mean. We would help them out, so.
What agency is requested that?
Southwest Health and Human Services, locally, the local option here in Pipestone. For the Pipestone tires is what they're going on.
And you have a motion second, any further questions? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Alright, Next up on my list of unusual questions would be, um. We pay currently, about $30 a month for our fax machine, and. I didn't realize that we didn't have to have one. And I talked to accounting, they don't get any faxes on it. I get about one moving permit per year and then a bunch of offers for cheap vacations to the. Weird countries or whatever, so pretty much just all scams. Are good. Yeah, yeah. So, I guess if it's all right with you, I don't know, I think we just get rid of
Yeah,
it.
sure, if you don't need it.
It's $30 a month, which isn't a big deal, but if I'm gonna use it, I think it's kind of a waste.
We don't own it, we lease it.
No, fax,
The line.
fax.
Oh, the
line,
Telephone line.
Just the phone line.
Yeah.
Dedicated phone line just
Yeah.
for the fax, so. No, I just feel like my.
You need action.
I don't think that needs action.
Had not a good enough rating, so I just wanted you to know about it. It'll take a little bit of time because all of our letterhead will have to change and. Suppose I'll have to update the permits, so nobody tries to fax it anymore, but.
Well, wouldn't that be something when we install this new phone system, we'd be addressing it anyway, see?
I would think so.
Okay, so maybe that's a good time to.
We'll keep at least one fax line here just in case.
Right.
Gotta have, you never know.
Like here you need, yeah, keep one, yeah.
Okay.
Everything anymore is scanned and emailed, but. Take fax, anything like that?
I do, yeah, a lot of the clinics that hospitals will. They encourage faxing over email, which is more secure, so claim forms, doctors' restrictions. That's the main thing I get through fax.
Perfect. So we won't be shutting them all off here.
Well, you said you already one.
Got one,
There you
so.
go.
There we go.
You can come here and fax if you need.
Okay. All right. All right, lastly, to finish off my, updates would be, last month, we've been doing graveling. Did patches on County Road 56, County Road 4, County Road 15, those patches. And we've been spraying leafy spurge. Other than that, that's all I have. Any questions?
Luke, a little bit of an odd question too.
Yeah.
I noticed that they're working on the sidewalk out Plain River, so. I was just, obviously, if we were doing it, we'd have to have better traffic control in the issue. Do we just ignore the fact that they're not really following it kind of? There's no flaggers out there.
Okay, cause I was through there today and they had all kinds of signs and cones and whatnot out.
Oh, because yesterday around the curve itself, they had a ski over working there, pushing in the spoils. And they didn't even have a flagger, it was one lane, it was just take your chances going through it, so. Oh, so,
Okay.
Before today, that's how it's.
that's been,
Oh,
you've seen it go well, and again, it's not our, it's their problem, but yet
Yeah,
It's our road,
It's our
easily we
road.
should, we should say something.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
If there's a problem.
yeah. So maybe just take a look and see if maybe they're done with that now or not. Wait more.
Actually, then done and further into the road is on one lane, though. That's
Oh,
what Nick was.
It's just one lane. I will check it out.
yep, I can talk to him about that, yeah.
But that's right at the corner where the highway shop is and. Apartments. They are getting done really quick though.
The entrance to the apartments is very,
When that other stretch, we put in before going north and south and, we had those heaves in it. So if this new stuff goes in, and gets heaved, is that gonna be our responsibility? Is that gonna be the city's responsibility?
City's infrastructure,
Yeah,
snow removal service.
okay, they're just joining with ours out there.
Okay, what's fun are you talking about? I wanna make
he
sure.
means out by the
By
cemetery,
the cemetery,
where they keep even, that sidewalk keeps every year, it's to keep at a spot.
I don't think we've had it for a couple of years.
2 years
Well,
now,
maybe,
Two years,
there was
okay.
probably.
but before that, it was every year,
So
it was every spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just, whenever it heaved, I just started having the guys
right,
saw off a little bit of one panel and put some expansion in there, and eventually we'll get to a point where we have enough
Well, you
expansion
got
in there.
place those that he.
but my question is, the new stuff they're putting in today, are we gonna take care of heaps on that as well too?
Oh, that's theirs.
So,
Yep, we also said, it's also in the agreement that we don't change our snow plowing
Okay,
operation either, because Doug can attest to this, like when there's sidewalk right there.
There's
We
no
have to
place
plow
else
it
to
all
push it.
one way,
Yeah.
holy cow, is that.
Yeah.
So it's way down, so.
and I don't think those sidewalks have ever been cleared in the winter time at all, because they.
That's not what the county has.
No.
They don't clear them.
Like Eighth Avenue out here south of Dars. That's a really
yeah.
time consuming issue for us. without
That's the only place we go all the way to the west where the, you know.
Yes, yeah,
But that's the only way we do it.
right.
We didn't wanna have to. Slow ourselves that, down that bad out here, because. We need to get out of the country too, so people have avoided the towns. Did I answer your question? Sorry again.
No,
Okay.
And that was more of a FYI, and like I said, it's not truly our responsibility, but it's our role, so we maybe.
I'll reach out to their engineer.
At least have a flagger out there.
Yeah, and I know yesterday there was a park kind of across from the apartments where they had their vehicles parked in one lane.
Yeah,
There was one lane open and then they were working on the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was pretty. Pretty sure they had a lot of, lights, cones, whatever, but nobody's really
correct.
directing traffic or telling you that there's only one lane. It was obvious there was only one lane.
I was gonna say those patches by Quick Trip are out really good too.
Yeah, for a rookie crew,
Yeah.
they're mainly rookie crew, like they did it pretty good. I mean, patches are really hard to do,
Yeah.
so. Then we had a bunch of guys there that have never done it before, so,
It's hard to believe because those were really smooth.
Yeah.
Really.
it also helps with the lower speed, trying that out at 55 miles an hour. But, no,
It is pretty.
I'm happy with how that works.
I see that the city has been pretty good about County Road 15, patching those in a fairly timely manner. They had to do that numerous times. Be interesting to see after most of the frost stops, I hope we have that.
I think every time I put it in there, I've said that they're responsible for settlement on the patches.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I haven't put it in there every time, I intend to, maybe forgot one here or there, but.
The longest stretch right now from Dars out to the highway shop, there must be, 10 different spots they dug in.
That's the layers.
Another comment on patches, Dunnings did a nice job on the patches on County 9. By the new public school project,
Oh, is that them that did it?
that's not,
Okay, that was through the city stuff,
yeah.
or the school stuff, it wasn't part of our project, but. Yeah, good,
But yeah, like you, I've always been impressed with Dunning's work.
yeah, town work, we've, historically had to do with them, their town work, so.
And they were right there doing the parking lot, the new school anyway, so.
Oh, okay, that's done too now.
Yeah.
Okay, it was,
They didn't put the wear later on yet, but
okay, it was really close last time I went by and. Like, yeah, things are really gonna start to come together now, but things.
Any more questions? Brett? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
The bill on pipeline is bad, we've got.
everyone.
Morning, thanks.
Morning. Give you both the microphone, just so. It's here, yeah.
Okay, if you want, great. Swim back and forth then.
I'll talk about V8 engines and bulk fuel buying, perfect segue into our pipeline discussion.
That's right.
Good to see everyone, Commissioner and County staff, thanks for having us. My name is Sam Payton, the Director of Government Relations for ONEM, a parent company for Magellan Pipeline Company based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, joined by my friend.
Bruce Garrett from ERM, we're a consultant working with One Oak and Magellan,
Based here in Minnesota.
based in Minnesota, Minneapolis.
So just, it's been a little bit since we've spoken with y'all, been in communication with Steve, of course, over the last 16 or so months. To provide updates and just wanted to come in, provide a brief update on where we stand with this project and answer any questions y'all have, if any. Just a reminder, I won't talk about the whole project for very long. You're well aware of it. We're trying to reroute a refined products, gasoline, diesel, jet fuel pipeline that was shut down in 2022 under that 0.74 mile segment under the National Monument. We're just trying to reroute that 3 to 5 miles outside of that area. So right now there is a refined products pipeline that is totally inoperable from Sioux Falls to Marshall. And so at this time, that's the only refined products pipeline that traverses this area. And it's providing fuel for the Marshall terminal, Sioux Falls terminal, where the service stations in this region get their fuel from, are distributed from. So right now, the Marshall terminal is low in supply, has been for the past couple of years. Because of that, it's hard to keep that storage facility wet, as we say, have adequate product at that terminal. And that's where most of the tanker trucks were coming from that would distribute to service stations in this area. Now they're coming from Sioux Falls, which is kind of equidistant from the Marshall area, but Sioux Falls area, that terminal, those trucks really service South Dakota, North Iowa, places like that. So we've seen some tanker trucks coming as far from Mankato and Alexandria to service the fuel stations in this area, which when it comes to fuel, the costs are all about transit time. Where does that fuel have to come from? You're well aware of that. So where are we now? If you'll recall, in September, the end of 2024, the Public Utilities Commission for the state of Minnesota issued a route permit for us to go ahead and get started in construction. There was some significant tribal opposition to that route permit. And the month following that order from the PUC, so the PUC ordered us, they rescinded the permit in January 2025, ordered us to go back and conduct greater surveys on routes 1 and 3, which I think you'll have a map in front of you that I sent to Steve this morning. Usually those surveys are done once the route permit is given, but the PUC ordered us to go back and do those surveys prior to. The reason for that, it's hard to get land. This is all on private land, all landowners in this area. And so it's hard to get approval for those surveys unless a route permit is really issued. Fortunately, we have a great real estate services team, what we call that division at Magellan, and they were able to get over 85% approval from the landowners on routes 1 and 3 to go in and conduct those surveys. We used a great contractor called Chronicle Heritage based out of Minneapolis and had multiple tribes, tribal participants participate in those surveys on both of those routes. Those cultural, ecological, archaeological surveys took place. And that was in the late spring, summer of 2025. We concluded those surveys, put together an entire compliance filing after getting feedback, landowners and tribal stakeholders on what was found, anything, disturbances, things like that about both routes, which route seemed to be better, greater disturbances to landowners, buildings, things like that, waterways. And then we submitted that compliance filing to the Utilities Commission April 28th of this year. So just about a month and a half ago. And so about a month after that, the Utilities Commission on May 22nd opened up a public comment period for a period of 30 days. So that is set to end on June 22nd. At this time, stating facts, there are 180 comments in support of the project and 38 against the project. Those comments are still coming in as we speak. Check this morning, nothing's been uploaded yet. We've had, some great Minnesotans come out and speak on both sides. This is America free speech. We'd love to see the arguments of both sides come through a very lively discussion. Of course, there are 4 non-governmental organizations associated with environmental groups across the country who have come in and asked for an extension of the public comment period for an additional 30 days. The Utilities Commission has not weighed in on that yet, so we could see the public comment period be extended to July 22nd. We determine whether that's going to happen or not. At this time, we think we will be before the Public Utilities Commission again sometime in September, unless they extend that comment period significantly. into July or even August. So we're hoping earlier the better, not just because for our sake of wanting to see the project be completed. But it also, again, this is all on private land. And most of these landowners are farmers. And so this has had a big impact on planting season and then harvest. So we want to make sure that we're taking those considerations into account when we're talking about construction timeline. When winter hits Minnesota, when planting and harvest season occur, things like that. So that's where we are at this time. Right now, we're in the public comment period for the Public Utilities Commission. And if you have any questions, be happy to answer. Any thoughts, anything I missed that you're curious about? Bruce, if you have anything, feel free to weigh in as well.
I was just gonna say, one item is, there's a lot of concern about the route being underneath or near the monument. Well, Route RA01, which is the route which is preferred, is actually 3 miles from the monument, and it is downstream from Pipestone Creek. So in a lot of the comments, they're saying, we don't want this pipeline by the monument. Well, 3 miles is a pretty good distance away, and it is downstream. So that's, that's a fact that's not getting out there a lot. There's a lot of assumptions that it is still within the monument footprint.
I think when you look at the map, a lot of folks I've spoken to, it's a little counterintuitive, but the Pipestone Creek flows to the west in that area. So Route 1 is downstream. I think some folks maybe proposed Route 3 or have been speaking about Route 3. Don't understand that is actually upstream from the monument. And I know the county has voiced some concerns about Route 3 with drainage tiles and things like that. I don't know if it would be in the county's interest, or you all need to discuss this internally, but we are encouraging local entities, spoken with state senators, state representatives, now before the county commission, if you would like to submit a public comment, one way or the other, talking about the different routes, what you see, any concerns you have with the project, any support comments you have for the project. Again, I'm not suggesting one way or the other, just I think it would be important if the county weighed in on this as the Utilities Commission. They're getting a lot of comments from out of state entities, to be frank. And so I think really it's good to see Minnesotans weigh in on this project. Again, no matter how they see it one way or the other, but this is really a project for Minnesotans and the states bordering this area. So I think that's important. I think it makes more sense for folks like you all to weigh in than people from Washington State or South Carolina or places like that. So, or Oklahoma even. So, but so if you have any questions on that, again, I know you all did weigh in with a letter during the first public comment period, talk about different routes from an objective standpoint. I thought that was great to see. But again, any questions, please feel free.
Mr. Chair, is there any rational reason to keep extending the comment period, or just trying to kick the can down the road and delay the project?
Without saying yes to that latter
Yeah,
point.
you can't answer that truthfully.
I don't have the letter in front of me, but again, this docket is 23-109. 23-109 is the docket number for the Public Utilities Commission. You can go through there and see every single filing that's been uploaded, the comments, our compliance filing, the opposition letters that have been filed, and the request for the extension of the public comment period. Their request for extension was based on some of these entities only have bi-weekly meetings, and so they don't have enough time to submit comments and meet, or they need 2 or so months to be able to organize and get their thoughts, their entities to vote on a comment and things like that. We are you can see we objected to the extension of the comment period, and that has been filed as well. Our argument is that our compliance filing for folks to review hasn't just been up since the public comment period was open. We filed that on April 28th. The comment period just opened on May 22nd. So in all, through June 22nd, folks have already had, that will have been about 60 days, which is what they were requesting to review that. And we're not necessarily opposed to an extension if they want to extend a week or so, but again, we're taking these landowners and their farming into consideration. And so that's what it's about too. And I hope the Public Utilities Commission is also taking these landowners into consideration and not just these entities who were close to the project. You can read that letter yourself as well, if you want. I'm happy to send it if you want me to send some PDFs around. We can certainly send those over to Steve as well.
Yeah, please do.
One thing I want to add is, they might say, well, we didn't know about this, but if you look on the docket, there's certain, all of these NGOs and all these people have signed up for alerts. So they were sent a notice that the public filing was filed. So they cannot use the fact that, oh, we didn't know it was added to the docket, because there was correspondence sent out to all of these entities saying that this has been added to the docket. So they were aware of it as soon as it hit the docket.
Just on the delay tactic, I don't want to get too into the weeds there, but I will say, seen that part of the utility commission's order when they rescinded the permit and asked us to go back and conduct surveys on those two routes was to coordinate with MIAC, Minnesota Indian Affairs Council. And so immediately in January 2025, we reached out and asked them, do you have a list of contractors? The coordination was supposed to be over the contractor that we use for the surveys. We immediately reached out, asked them if they have a list of tribal friendly entities, contractors that we could review. We didn't, that the order didn't say we had to use their recommendation, but at least coordinate with them. And we attempted to do that. We reached out, they said, we don't have a list of contractors right now. Again, this was January 25. But in a few months, they said they were deep in legislative session, wait until Minnesota session ends, and then they can get to us. So April, we checked back in, they still didn't have any list. May came, they said, okay, maybe in the fall. Again, we were trying to get these surveys done before planting season, or maybe after harvest and all that. Well, last month, maybe April, about 15 months after the order, we finally received a list of one contractor that they would have been comfortable with us using for the surveys. So whether that's a delay tactic or give people the benefit of the doubt, it took 15 months to receive one name for a contractor for us to use on these surveys. So it's been a little difficult seeing attempted coordination go like that. But again, I don't want to get too into that. Just to your question, I wanted to talk about kind of how things went in the last 15, 16 months since that.
So if things go smoothly and you meet with the PUC in September, you said,
Hopefully, yes.
then what would tentatively be a timeline going beyond that?
So the Utilities Commission gives us the route permit in September. There is a period for reconsideration again, which is what happened last time, and a 15-day reconsideration period. That's when we saw a lot of these tribal groups ask for reconsideration. It was, again, I'm not trying to throw different entities under the bus or anything like that. It's just that's what we saw happen in those 15 days. But if we get that permit, there's no reconsideration. The Utilities Commission sticks with their route this time, which is, if they do issue a route permit, that's likely to happen as they stick with it. We could potentially, again, this is a 2 to 3 month project. So we would hopefully be able to finish construction before the end of the year. And if not, we would have to wait probably until March or so. Again, it's that perfect timing between the end of winter before planting or the end of harvest before winter really sets in. And we can do construction in the beginning or end of winter conditions as well. There are different technology that's really impressive these days. So it's not like we can't do anything during those cold months, but that's kind of you have more experience with the Utilities Commission. Does that seem accurate, the timeline here?
Yeah, it seems accurate. I mean, there will be filings that they will appeal, but sooner or later, a decision has to be made because it's been appealed, it's been appealed, it's been appealed. And, it's just not fair, especially with fuel costs now. It just exasperates what can happen in this area. And one thing, they are proposing is, the tribal historic organization person is looking at, there's a clause that you can ask for a cultural buffer, a 5-mile buffer around a cultural area. And they are looking at trying to ask for a cultural buffer of 5 miles around the national monument, which would mean there could be no energy infrastructure, no major infrastructure projects within a 5 mile buffer of the national monument. So that's something that's slipping in that everyone needs to know, because that
That would
could,
include all utilities,
yes.
Windmills and roads.
right?
Anything that needs to be
Transmission
dug
lines.
into the ground and, you know, windmills, I mean, you have to go in, you have to dig deep into the ground and.
There's a transmission line that's gonna come through the county too, and that's gonna be the same regulation now as well.
Yes.
So that rights for economic development for this entire county.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to discuss, us penny another letter of support we have in the past. I'd like to put another one together as well too. In that letter of support, I'd like to commend Magellan for, first of all, their major financial investment in this, also recognize their sensitivity in working with all of the interested parties here. And, again, I think it is worth highlighting the fact that, RA01 would probably be the preferred route because it is downstream. I think that it's good to reiterate that as well too. So I would move that we do pen a letter like that and then see with your help. Sure. And then if you want to have us proofread it before we sign and send it on for comment, that would be my recommendation. You could put that in the form of a motion if you just want to discuss it this time until we actually get the letter put together, whatsoever. Appropriate. What do you guys think?
I think we probably just draft one and,
You know,
look at it.
so we can just at this point direct Steve to draft a letter and then we'll take formal action on it and it's.
Next meeting.
But kind of highlighting those areas again, their sensitivity to the financial investment, and of course, how critical this is to the Congress in this area, so.
Yep, we really appreciate that. Thank you. And again, if we can answer any questions here right now, you know, I still happy to answer questions or over the coming weeks or months, feel free to reach out. Always happy to continue dialogue.
Recognize your diligence and your patience in working with this, it's not easy. And it's very important, so thank you for your honesty.
Well, thank you, especially right now when fuel prices are pretty elevated due to geopolitical dynamics. It's this is not only important for our company, it's important for the region, for this area. Geopolitical dynamics, like I said, have elevated oil prices, fuel prices go up, and this is a very important piece of critical American energy infrastructure that we'd like to reconnect.
Also, the safety factor, that many trucks going from Sioux Falls to Bentonville or Marshall, it's much safer to go through the pipeline.
Especially
It's cheaper also.
it's, on the county to finance and maintain many of these roads in this area. As you see more trucks traversing these roads, that's not great for y'all. And so, yeah, pipelines remain the safest, lowest carbon intensity mode of transit for liquid products.
Whichever route is chosen, is the pipeline gonna primarily be like within the right of way or?
No, it's all private.
Is it?
It would be on the private land. I don't think it would be, I
Just
don't,
outside the right?
just outside the right of way, yes.
Okay.
And we've been working with landowners, our real estate service team, still been talking, it's not just a straight pipe all the way. If there's something they want us to avoid a building or anything like that, we can, go, 10 yards this way and look around, things like that. And
So
so,
say the lines are nice and straight on. the
yeah,
map.
on the map, they look nice
They
and straight,
won't.
but yeah, if you walked it, once it's completed, it
We
will
understand
stumble
that.
just a little bit. Of course, yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is this, we have pipelines, 100,000 miles pipelines under our feet all over the country. We take for granted where our fuel comes from, but they're all over the place and they do this kind of thing, so.
And your crews are not, unaware of how hard the Sioux site is in this area.
Perfect.
Another challenge for your crews.
Right. The engineers will take care of that, yeah.
The lines, they follow the road, most of the pipeline follows the road all the way down where other utility.
Yeah.
It's not like they're carving a separate path.
Some of the older original pipeline was put in the 30s, 40s, if I remember it correctly. Some of that had got shallow because of ledge rock. But with this, he's going around, you're gonna have to go ahead and get that lower down from what you guys told us.
Do you remember the thirties and forties?
Again, I was with rural electric, so I worked on your pipeline
Yeah,
for
you're right.
years, so. Yeah. Not quite that.
I just add finally, unless there's other questions, we can have to continue this conversation, but If you do have any questions from citizens in this area, from the landowners who are on either of these routes,
Yeah.
feel free to reach out. We want to be transparent about this process, how this works. As far as pipeline reroutes go, this is a small project compared to what many others in this Midwest region have encountered over the last decade or two. And again, this is a 2 or 3 month projects, 13 to 18 miles, not hundreds or anything like that. That said, any project like this is still significant for the community that it goes through. And so while for our engineers, they might think, oh, this is an easy project, we can get in and out. This is still something for each individual landowner that it impacts. So as you're getting those comments, if you are, feel free to, let us know. We'll come back up. We can chat with them. Phone, email, be in person, whatever be it. Let us know.
Do you have any projected costs at this point that you want to share with the public on this, and this is not a cheap project?
I personally I don't know the updated figures. I don't know if I could share those if I had them.
Yes.
As transparent as I want to be, that might be something we can.
And I understand that, but it is obvious it's a major investment, and
You can understand it. It's in the, millions of dollars. I actually think there was a public, document out there that may have had the construction figure in there. I'll try to find that and send it if I can. Again, and then as this drags on, obviously it's a greater cost as well, but yeah, we're not making that the top issue by any means. This is all about energy supplies and trying to work with local entities and stakeholders.
the exact dollar amount is not important to me, but again, just recognize that it's a major investment.
Sure, yeah. So
Any other questions? Thanks for coming.
yeah, we appreciate y'all and having us and again, continue the cooperation county and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
You want to withdraw your motion?
I don't think I ever did make a motion, it was more of just discussion, that's.
You made a motion.
You made a motion.
I did make a motion.
You made a motion.
Okay, then I will go ahead.
Okay.
So then, yeah, I guess we more of a discussion. It's kind of.
Just withdraw the motion, I will have the letters together and I'll
And
bring it in and we'll
act on it that time, yeah.
act on it as you leave, whatever you want to do, but we'll get some sense of the first certificate.
Take 5 or take,
Yeah, say five.
okay.
Sure. That's right.
Wait till Elliot here. In the house.
Because me and one of the other meetings is, the cost of shipping one from Texas to. And it was so sharp.
Or the stories.
Yeah, that's what.
Talk about Paycom.
Yes. Good morning.
Morning.
Has been almost a year, since we first issued our RFP for a all-inclusive comprehensive human resources management software. Today I'm going to be recommending, that we enter an agreement with Paycom, for 3 years. The implementation of Paycom will replace multiple systems, that we're currently using for recruiting, onboarding, employee management, payroll processing, benefits administration, time and attendance tracking, and other ongoing human resources functions. I'm gonna turn it over to Elliot Kane, who is our executive sales representative, the individual who has been working with me over this last year and has incredible patience for going through this process with me. So I just want to thank you, Elliot. I know it's been a long time coming, but we're excited and just would like you to give a kind of just an overview of what the commissioners can expect to see during this implementation and how Paycom is gonna really take us into current modern day tracking for human resources and payroll information.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, nice to meet all of you that I haven't had the opportunity to meet. As Charlotte mentioned, my name's Elliot Kane. I sit out of Paycom's office here in the Twin Cities area. I've had the opportunity to work with Charlotte, Steve, the rest of the team for, as she mentioned, almost a year now at this point as they've evaluated Paycom and a few other systems. And I think she kind of summed it up. I've had the opportunity to partner with and work with quite a few counties across the state of Minnesota. And I think the biggest thing that we've identified throughout all the meetings we've had over the last almost 12 months is just really being able to consolidate systems to drive efficiency, not only for the back office administration team, but also for those employees as well, and kind of giving them the ability to access and manage all of their information. So, I think the biggest things are consolidation of systems, streamlined and automated processes to ensure accuracy when it comes to payroll processing time. So again, nice to meet you all. I'm super excited to be here.
Thanks for being with us.
So we'll be moving from paper timesheets at our highway department to clocking in and out. We'll have integrations between our scheduling systems with EMS and Paycom. This will also be the system that all of our benefit enrollments will be in. Employees will be able to access time cards, W-2s, enrollment information, all of that via their phones. We won't need a VPN network in order for them to access their time card information. So they'll be able to access that right at their fingertips.
Charlotte,
Yeah.
quick question.
Absolutely.
Clocking in and out, so then will that have to be on their computer when they clock in and out, or are there different ways of doing it?
Multiple different ways to do it. Paycom is cloud-based, so anywhere that there's an internet connection, they can do it.
So you can do it off your smartphone?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see. The 1-year annual subscription cost will be at $34,889.76. We will have additional implementation fees of $4,636.64 and estimated our EDI carrier fees. So this is setting up those integrations with all of our benefit carriers, Prime West, Health Partners, MetLife, estimating that at $3,250. Paycom has agreed to a 0% increase for year 1 and a maximum increase of 4% for year 2 and maximum of 5% increase for year 3. Those are just maximum allowable amounts. They are not guaranteed increases. Elliot mentioned to me that he has not seen an increase of over 4%, but just so we can budget accordingly for those subsequent years. Implementation of Paycom will generate approximately $22,000 annually in savings from discontinued software systems and approximately $15,000 annually in estimated labor and administrative efficiencies.
Would one of those efficiencies be an example of the highway department that was Nick here as well too? Nick, when you're tracking labor for a job, you have to allocate, you have to track hours, for a specific job.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm not the person to ask about how that works.
But my thought is this would be a very useful tool for it. This would eliminate, like I said, those administrative fees that you all be able to see it.
Yep, absolutely, and how much gravel loads they've taken on their jobs. We'll be able to track all of that in here.
Mr. Chair, and I had the same question with the highway department. That's what I'm familiar with. At the end of the day, they do a lot of recording of what they did and then how much time they spent on that. That's all by paper. And how much salt sand they use, how much gravel they use, where the gravel went. This will be on their phone, or how will they do that?
Yes, the idea is everything would be on their phone, for those able to use their phone for that. Danielle has been helping out Nobles County, for the past couple months, and they recently moved to Paycom. So she will have the advantage of seeing how things work great, how things maybe aren't working so great, to advise us on what she thinks would work best for that department. I will rely heavily on Neil and Nate for what they're needing, to track and what makes sense for those employees to be clocking in and out.
I mean, when I think about this, it just sounds really time consuming, unless the app has a spot for this information where they just have to click on that they plowed snow and then they put their hours, or, if they have to type all that out, that's when
Yeah, no, that
I
is,
don't, they just didn't know.
Do we provide cell phones for our highway workers at this point?
No, just you.
So that'd be one thing to consider here. If they have to do it on a phone and they can't do it on their laptop or their computer at work, then we're gonna have an additional cost to provide cell phones.
They just use their own phones.
They can use their own phone.
If they're doing everything now.
Okay.
Right, that's
they can use
not an
their
issue.
own phones, and I have had preliminary discussions with IT. At the end of this calendar year, sheriff's office will be recycling a lot of their old laptops, their rugged laptops. So the idea is to have a rugged laptop at each of the 4 outlying shops.
That's a great idea. 'Cause that might be a little more user friendly than a small screen.
What about if you do that, what about like internet service?
We need to get connectivity to it.
You're gonna buy internet service to those shops, or?
We have to, or,
They use their
or
phone
could be a Verizon Wi-Fi hotspot type thing too, there,
Yeah.
with their phone, or?
with the laptop.
I'm just saying the expense of a computer when they can use their phone. And not have the expense of adding internet service to that shop.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So that was my question in the back of my mind too. What additional costs will we have other than the contract? So
And some of those, issues will be addressed during budgeting, but
Yeah.
other things to consider are,
efficiencies,
yeah,
there are definitely gonna be efficiencies here with that and better tracking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to see that. So
Elliot, can you explain a little, I mean, like what they're asking about is, will all this stuff be actually included in the program where, like, if they're talking about snow plowing or hauling gravel or whatever, I mean, all these would just be things that are already entered in and all they have to do is enter an amount or a time or.
Yeah, you're spot on. Yep. So whether they're clocking in and out through the mobile device on their phone, on their phones, or on a desktop computer or a laptop, we have what's called labor allocations. So more or less when they're going to clock in for the day, if they're only ever plowing snow or shoveling gravel, then it would just automatically pre-populate that allocation. So they would just have to hit in for the day and out for the day. If they have multiple allocations that are assigned to them, so if they're eligible to plow snow and shovel gravel, then they would just be able to select one of those. So they would select shoveling or plowing snow, and then they would hit in for the day. So they don't have to type anything in. And then from there, that all will drive what rate they're receiving for those hours that they're working. And then that will also flow to the general ledger for accounting purposes as well.
a comment on that, and you probably maybe have this all worked out, but a comment on the snow plowing. They have to put how much time they spend on each road, like a road number, they have to put a road number and then how much time they're on that road. So would that be included in how they can do it, or?
Yes, we can set all of those up as well. Again, we'll train employees, and so a big part of implementation is working with Charlotte and the rest of the team to determine what the best, I guess, use case will be to track time. And then from there, once that's determined, we will come on site and train all the employees on how they should be tracking time and how they're able to effectively manage their time.
And Elliot, you mentioned you've got other counties as clients as well too, so you've gone through this before, so you've got a track record on how this works.
Yes.
How many years have you been involved with other counties?
So I've been at Paycom for just shy of 3.5 years. I have worked with Becker County and Todd County. I had the opportunity to work with last year, so just over a year ago, and then just this year, right at the end of 2025, Nobles County became a Paycom client, and then Cottonwood County as well. So those two are kind of more so down in your neck of the woods. And then Morrison County and Wadena County, more so up north, they have both been Paycom clients for 6+ years now at this point.
So you got some experience and track record with this various, the cost codes, is that what you call them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good, thank you.
And they use cost codes now on paper.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
it's just a matter of switching over
To the electronic.
to the.
Yeah.
Yeah, that system.
But it sounds like if it's all listed in already, all you have to do is get rid of the road and.
That was easy.
Yeah.
It's not the same, yeah.
No, I knew this would come someday
Yeah.
because there's a lot of paperwork involved at the end of the day for the guys, but I knew that someday they would have to switch
Right.
over.
My figure for estimated labor savings is mine and mine alone. That doesn't include.
Everything out in the field, yeah.
Exactly.
How about, verifying accuracy? Again, with, you know, if you're gonna make a mistake, is there a balanced way of checking at the end of the, you get it out, yeah.
So they'll have flags if you have too many hours or not enough hours. You've entered leave, but also work time in the same day. You'll have those notifications. Employees will see that rather than Danielle picking up that error at the end of the pay period.
Yep.
Those will automatically be coming through as an employee is actively entering their time. And the cost codes, like Doug mentioned, allocations, so same thing for EMS when they're working their primary shifts or backup shifts, they'll be able to clock into those seamlessly, and when their on-call turns into an actual call, being able to change that right in the mobile app.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to know, you say they write it all down at the end of the day, who correlates all that, collates all that? Do they get somebody in the office that does that?
Well, when I was doing it, I signed off on all of them.
Yeah, but then somebody has to
Well,
do
then-
that on the computer somewhere too?
No, I signed off on paperwork. And then that would go, well, then I went to Leslie and then she put it from there.
So it's gonna eliminate a step, actually.
No, they
Still has to be done by
they
somebody.
should somehow probably look at
Yeah,
it.
Supervisor.
Yeah, so the supervisor will have access, they can do it daily, he can double check, routes and loads and hours at the end of every day. Once Nate signs off on them, then Danielle would get them, and then Danielle would reconcile them and import them into into the accounting.
But she'll get them in an electronic form and not a bunch of papers.
You know, it's the same system, but not the paperwork part of it. I mean, he'd have to look at them every day or he'd get way too far behind. You know, you gotta do it. And then that would, once he okays it, I guess it'd be, and then it would move on to the next step.
So.
Yeah, so maybe add something.
First time he's ever raised his hand.
Well, I just want to make sure you have this part, but, so right now, as Doug said, everybody fills out their time card by hand. Turns it into, to Nate now.
Yeah.
He looks at it, signs off, turns it into, to accounting, and then they manually enter them all. So. My understanding is that, you know, if this is electronically, and it's looking at it electronically, to eliminate counting, re-entering all of those back into the computer.
Yes,
Probably doesn't say the Nate or the supervisor, and he's still gotta look at it and make sure they're okay.
Probably would make
It
a
doesn't
difference.
save him much, but it will, the county.
Yeah, that's all those time cards I think we'll have to get.
Yeah, just keep, yeah, had to go through all that manner and band and everything. Yeah. Great. Good. What event, does it have one of these or none?
Looks like that, yeah.
It's similar. Yeah, are we gonna have to change too?
Right now, we did not, quote the expense reimbursement through Paycom.
Okay,
But that is definitely something that is available and something that during implementation, we will be setting up with the hopes of bringing that in down the road. So every employee is set up with their roles, which allows them to submit for reimbursement under certain codes. So once if we decide to go with the expense reimbursement module, then yes, you would be able to just enter your mileage, your meals, all that on the same system and receive that through your paycheck. Any other questions?
one question on savings from discontinued software. We pay the software fees by the year or by the month, or if we go live 1st of August, just say, get a rebate from some of the software systems or not?
So there will be overlap of our current systems with Paycom, and that overlap will be through the end of December. So,
Then we just won't renew them for next year.
exactly, yeah,
Won't get any money back from those type of things.
no, we did, shorten our renewals. We've only paid through June with CPT and integrity, but I am going to renew that through the end of this calendar year. Just wasn't sure when we were gonna kick off this implementation. But for ACA, you know, having them all on one system with integrity, having them issue our 1095 forms, will be much easier than trying to do two different systems. NeoGov is who we are currently using for applicant tracking, so we'll use that through the end of the calendar year and then got that for this next year as well.
The data itself then is that all stored on our servers or does it go on your servers? How does that work?
Elliot, can you speak to the data migration?
Yeah, so from a data migration standpoint, during the first probably 2 to 3 weeks of implementation, we're going into all of the different systems that data is currently stored in. So CPT, NeoGov, any benefits information coming out of Integrity or Plan Source, if that's who you're utilizing, we're extracting all of that data. We're kind of combing through it with a fine-tooth comb. We're validating all of that data with the team at Pipestone County, and then we're starting to build that out within Paycom. As far as where we house your guys' data, we actually own and operate all of our own data centers, which is drastically unique from the rest of the industry. So we're not housing data in like an AWS or an Amazon data center. We own and operate all of our own data centers to ensure security of our clients' data. So we have 2 data centers, one in Dallas and one in Phoenix, Arizona.
When employees go to enroll in their benefits during open enrollment, they will see the history of their current elections that they've enrolled in. So that would be part of the data migration, to have that historical archive within the system.
Then some of our other benefits packages such as WEX and so forth, that would be integrated into this as well.
Yep. Any other questions?
If we did vote for this, when does it go live?
We have not decided on a formal
Okay.
go live date. My intent is, and I haven't talked this over with Elliot yet, depending on when we can do open enrollment. If we do open enrollment in November, I would like to do go live with clocking in and out December 16th. So then our first payroll, our first check cut with Paycom would be January 10th. So allowing open enrollment, user training, get everyone logged into the system during that November timeline. And then everyone ready, clocking in and out December 16th is what I have.
A lot of things have to happen before that.
Sure do. Yeah, so that gives us plenty of time. Typical implementation is about 12 weeks, so that gives us about double the time to work with. And also taking into account we have elections this year, so payroll will be definitely busy during that time, and just allowing for that extra buffer if needed.
Ellie, your quote then now is for a 3-year period of time. I know it's an unknown, but rate stability going forward. I'm hoping that, because we've seen that with software licenses and so forth, I feel we get gouged sometimes, so I'm hoping that your company is responsible here and that we're gonna be a good partner and that we're not gonna be addicted to your program.
I'm sorry, you kind of broke up a little bit in there. Was there a question?
I'm asking about rate stability going forward. This is a 3-year contract. How do the rates look going forward at this point? Any projections at all?
Yeah, so as far as like rate increases or price
Yeah.
increases,
Yeah.
yeah, so I know Charlotte had mentioned we have price locks or price caps in there for the initial 3-year term. As I mentioned to her, Paycom was founded in 1998. We've never had a price increase over 4%, but we do have those price caps in there just for budgeting purposes for you all. So let's say in 2028 we have a 2.5% increase. You would only see that 2.5. You would not see the 4% cap that we have on there. And we do not do price increases every year. It's a little bit above my pay grade to know when we will have price increases. Those typically do take place in like the February or March timeframe. But like this year, we did not have a price increase, and I can't speak to years to come, truthfully.
I understand it's unknown going forward, but it is nice, like I said, going back to your start. You have had huge increases. That's good to see.
Yes.
Any other questions? Any motion?
I will make that motion that we enter into this agreement with Paycom for our time recording.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair. I realized what we're going on today is apples compared to rocks software, and we're moving in a better direction for pretty much all our departments. But at the same time, I want to remind everybody that software using CPT is a company that this county is invested in buying to. It does provide that it's inadequate, I will admit that, and they're probably nowhere near providing what they need to for this county right now, because their CPT is mainly deal with taxation, so that the other programs are kind of secondary to them. So I think for them to build a HR program similar would take very long time, right? So I understand that, but at the same time, I'm going to vote against this today. I am the chairman of this committee, and it's a bad example for me to go back and tell them that I'm taking business away from that company.
I can respect that. Ellie, did I hear you make a reference though to CPT? Did you do partnership with them now, or did I not hear that?
We have transition groups off of CPT. We do not partner with CPT. So like Todd County, for instance, they were on CPT prior to making the transition to Paycom.
And the counties that he mentioned too, they're going through other software changes too. CPT is picking up taxation with some of these other counties he mentioned too, because another company is leaving the state right now, so it's leaving a lot of. So that's good for CPT. They're picking up other business too, but they are losing business when it comes to this HR program.
So we will still be using CPT
For our assessors, a lot of other departments will.
Yeah.
But when it comes to HR, I understand there's a huge difference here, and I understand why it's good for Pipestone County to go this way. But me being the chairman of this company, it set a terrible example.
Yeah.
Saying I'm taking money away from this company.
No, I respect that. I appreciate that comment, absolutely. How long do you think before CPT would be ready to accept in the payroll? What are we talking here?
That's not even on the radar right now, taxation and getting everything up, the state level with the whole they're doing, that's where it is.
Yeah, they're giving us a 3-year contract, so we certainly are.
And this isn't anything CPT is looking at writing right now today. Charlotte's been great for them, that they've gotten so much, they praise her about how much, input that they've gotten from Charlotte about how helpful that is, because they don't do this every day, they don't build HR software every day, or payroll and all these other things they work with, and they do build it, but that's not their primary thing, taxation is.
And
So I do want to make that clear that I understand this 100%, why we're doing it, but at the same time, I have to vote against it today.
There are the payroll companies as well, too. I'm somewhat familiar with ABP. I've worked with them before.
But then we're also taking money away from ourselves.
Right.
They're already invested, so I just kind of want to throw that out there.
I would, if you can encourage CBT to
Well, they're aware of it, but
get a product available for us, we'd love to get it to them as well. Not to, be the dispute at all. We appreciate what you're providing for us. But yeah, I hope you can understand too that our other affiliations that we've got with other county owned joint powers.
Any other questions or comments? Now we do have a motion and a second, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elliot.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Alright. Did you want to stay up here for the rest of the report?
Yeah, you should.
I was just interested in that, so.
Alright, so next up on the HR report is a request to approve new part-time EMS job descriptions. Just a heads up, when this was sent out to you on Friday, it did include updating our full-time EMT and paramedic job descriptions. However, after reviewing the AFT contract, they had a 6-month probationary period outlined in the AFT contract, so it did not align with the job descriptions that I was presenting you with. So EMT basic and paramedic will stay as is with no changes with their current 6-month probationary period. I am only recommending the creation of 2 new job descriptions, the part-time EMS basic and the part-time paramedic. These will have 6-month probationary periods. We removed the response time or radius in which they needed to live in for response time, hoping that would open it up to additional applicants. And we also removed the coordination and facilitation of those EMT and first aid classes that we didn't think were the requirement needed for a part-time EMT or paramedic. So just with leaves coming up, and making sure that we have adequate coverage, Cole and Casey and myself, believe that these 2 new classifications will help with the recruitment and staffing needs during these periods. The part-time job descriptions, other than the changes that I mentioned, do mirror the full-time positions. And keeping those higher level training coordination for the responsibility of full-time staff. So it is requested that you approve the newly created part-time EMT basic and part-time paramedic job descriptions as presented.
And the probationary period will be 6 months
6
and
months.
all.
Right.
So Charlotte, so these aren't new positions, these are new descriptions.
Right.
Okay, so what description did we use prior to that for these individuals that are already filling these part-time positions?
The full-time job description.
But you've seen some nuances in those that you want to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just trying to make it easier to recruit, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, and clear expectation or that way, that it is part of, that makes sense to me, so. If you're looking for action, you should probably improve these part-time, job descriptions, so.
What is the response time or the distance? You need to be in.
Verify that I.
I was looking for that.
I believe it was 10 to 15 minutes. That's what it was.
And that's changed or?
We're just taking that out of the part-time requirement, so still correct. So they would, their shifts would still be on site, you know, their full-time shifts and then
They
their,
have to be on site.
so then the on-call, they would be outside of that rate.
The different limit on how far?
We do not have a limit for the part-time.
You need a limit, don't you?
Right now, they need bodies.
No, but that's no, I'm saying, I mean, what if they're, you know, hour and a half away or? Don't they have to have some restriction?
I believe that they shouldn't be an hour and a half away if
Well,
they
yeah,
are
they shouldn't,
scheduled.
but if there's nothing right that says, just like the highway, they. So it would make it exactly, that's all response time or something. I would think it should be something.
But if they're full-time shifts, who cares where they live? As long as they're here for the shift. As long as they're here for the
Who's
shift.
there on call? They're on call.
Yeah, available to be on call, they have to be on site.
Yes.
Or
Yeah,
they're on
if
call.
they're on site
Like-
working, but if they're on call, they can be at home, can they?
I think that's a great question. We should clarify with Casey.
So some of the part-timers don't stay at the.
Yeah, they do. So there's full-time, part-time, and backup. My job was backup.
Okay.
Okay, so backup, I'd be from home. And basically backup was
So
to,
this isn't.
this is the same, this is not backup. This
So
is,
part-time, you have to be on site.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, you have to be there. So if you're part-time, overnight, you're hanging out at the house.
Part-time is on site.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have to
No,
worry about it.
if you're there,
You're there.
instead of full-time hours, you're doing lesser hours and filling up for
I got it.
part-time or picking up other shifts.
So as long as.
And you're
on
there.
site, it doesn't-
That way, if you live an hour away, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it used to be, I think some people would be at home waiting.
We were, yeah.
That's what I.
Yeah, and we had out of town people that, that's what, ultimately back in the day, that's why we bought the house, so that people could stay here. And cover those.
When you said part-time, that's what I
Yeah.
thought that was still happening. Okay.
Any other questions? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? Who cares?
Moving on to open positions, we still have our jailer dispatcher position open, but with this approval of the updated part-time job descriptions, we will be posting for a part-time EMT basic and part-time paramedic, positions, just to have that extra reserve. And then lastly, just a colleague, kudos, to Bridget Hartman. She was nominated in April for her outstanding customer service, both internally and externally. She's reliable, patient, and always willing to help solve problems. I thought it was hilarious when the individual who nominated Bridget, that she doesn't ask, have you tried turning it on and off? And then that's very true to her nature. Gives us the benefit of the doubt on that one, but always very helpful. So thank you, Bridget, for all that you do.
Thank you. I would second that. She's my computer go-to. So,
Sometimes you do just have to turn it off.
And just some upcoming events. We have an impromptu ice cream social at the Government Center Southwest tomorrow from 2 to 4. We have our annual board cookout already next Tuesday. we will be closed for Juneteenth, Independence Day, and then just a heads up of our annual Safe Shore training has been scheduled for Wednesday, August 26th.
And I have a shopping list ready for the board to pick out.
You unspreadable?
Yes, we do. We don't need any brat buns this year. We have lots of leftover. They didn't have near as many at the open house as they thought, so it was cold and icky that night.
That's because they all let you have one.
What now?
Big sign, only one.
Well, they can.
Take out.
So, anyway, good for lots and buns luck.
Any questions, comments? Guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Southwest Fire Ministry Council agreement.
And Luke, I had you sign it before we did this. That was, I got it too early, so. Anyway, you've already signed for it. Anyway, this came from Terry Bendix. Just a reminder, the Joint Powers Board is the elected official board, which is required for our region to receive our Federal Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. That's WIOA, and the state formula funds to administer workforce development programming. Any questions, reach out, but she's requesting that the county approve the new joint powers agreement that you have in front of you. And that'll be the same one that all the counties in Region 6W and Region 8 will be taking action on. So that will be in effect July 1 through June 30th. Can you rep on this?
Yes.
Right on. We carry on the pick.
Yep.
You're aware of this?
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah.
And you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would move that we authorize Al to sign what he's already signed.
Actually, Luke.
Luke.
Yeah, just approve the agreement with them.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carries. Water Festival, the courthouse attendance.
Have a request for board action in front of you from the Chamber of Commerce to utilize courthouse grounds again for the annual Water Tower Festival. Dates are June 25th for setup through the 28th for festival activities, and tent will be removed on Monday, the 29th, as per usual they do it. Just in case they'd like to request a show arena at the fairgrounds if necessary on Friday, if there would be rain for the kids' pedal pole. They've asked for that every year as well, so.
Would that be Thursday?
It's Thursday.
I think it's Thursday, pardon me, the dance Friday, I think Thursday.
I think there was a mistake on posters that went out.
And I think I saw that too, yeah, I thought it, yeah, I had it as Friday too on that,
It would be a bummer for all the kids to think it's Friday and then they find out it's over because it happened on Thursday.
The chamber's working on correction of that. It's hard on the printed one, but on the electronics.
yeah, that's, I went and looked on their website, that's what I found was on Friday.
Yeah.
But figured they were gonna do it before the dance or something.
Yeah. Thursday.
Okay, anyway, it's on Thursday. And then as far as the, grounds for the, car show across the street here, that's not our issue anymore.
Yeah.
They have to get a hold of the city if they want to use the grounds for cars.
Mr. Joe, move to approve.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, carries.
And next request I have, a gentleman named Leonardo Salazar, he stopped into my office last week. And he is requesting, approval to use the Blue Building at the Fairgrounds to hold a live music or a DJ event on July 11th, 2026 from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. For a little background, Mr. Salazar plans to host the event. He will be selling beer at the event and must obtain a license from the city to offer the sale of alcohol. He's planning to have a food truck at the event, Rico's Tacos. He will have his own security and will be charging admission fee for the event. No tables or chairs are needed. If approved, he must provide the county with proof of liability insurance, proof of alcohol license from the city. And if all goes well, he may consider having a second event in August after the fair. The rental fee for the Blue Building is $250 and $50 for use of the bathrooms. This is all pending on him getting the proper information to us. And getting his licenses.
I'll make a motion to allow this.
Any discussion?
Little question on it. Security deposit, I know with rent being $250, have we ever charged security deposits before?
We have not.
I'm just wondering, worst case scenario, because there will be alcohol served there, if that's something that we should maybe cover a little bit more potential damage.
Would, consider $500 security deposit,
I think that'd go a long ways to,
or take check and for security damage, be damage deposit, basically, we have not done that as a past.
yeah. But normally those events are a little bit more mundane than this being a music thing and alcohol involved, that would have potential. It's not like.
People at music events get out of hand.
I said,
Yeah.
no. I said, don't be the sound like an old man, like I said, but. Better than that. Yeah, you need 500 recovery.
Sorry. Maybe the blue building, it's basically on concrete and.
Not much there.
Yeah,
Right.
baseballs through the wall.
yeah, we've got those walls been patched and so forth.
And then there will be damage.
Yeah, and we just had them repair them and they just paid for the repair, but we've never done a deposit on the softball, baseball team for the batting cage or anything.
So if we do this in this event, are we setting a precedent? We want to make sure that we're fair. If
They're doing it because it's a different type of event, it's a dance event with alcohol,
Yeah.
but
I think it'd be
you are in line to do whatever you want, just want fair and good, but that's fine.
You weren't worried about a security deposit for the pedal pole?
That's not a team building, that's gonna be out in the shore.
Well, unless it rains.
Well,
That's short.
they are serving alcohol.
That's
More people going up.
Those tractor poles, sometimes they break away and.
If you'd like, you can go ahead and amend your motion to include a $500 security deposit, if that sounds reasonable.
No.
Okay.
No? Don't want a security deposit? Okay.
And I'm fine with that, I was just thinking that we're gonna start it off.
Any other questions or discussion?
I'm gonna say no, I want a security deposit. Right, and just because of what the event is.
You know,
They would be upfront, Steve.
What's that?
They pay these fees ahead of time, right?
Yes.
Like, just from other committees that sit on for volunteer for the city, I know some of these groups have offered to pay rents and never paid rent for the year, so I just,
He doesn't, and if,
I'd like the money ahead of time.
you wouldn't be able to do it anyway if I don't have insurance coverage, and that will not happen, so. That's,
and a copy of his liquor license.
well, actually, yeah, I got all licenses from the city, so.
He needs all.
Yeah, that's all I gotta do.
And if he's got insurance, would that cover any damages?
It certainly could, if there is damage.
So,
Okay, if the insurance covers damage, I'd be okay with that.
That is, you gotta have liability insurance for anything goes on there, so damage, injury type of thing.
The only other question I'd have would be that of our sheriff's department, so he's gonna have security there, but so we can coordination, so we can have officers there too.
Once we're done with this, I'll let people know what's going on. I'm sure they'll be that they.
I'm sure that will notice if somebody's driving away erratically.
They do their thing, right? Yeah.
And again, this is a plan so far, but this is not in stone yet. Okay, so I'm just doing my diligence and we get it going if it comes to fruition.
It has a potential come back around again too, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're interested in possibly doing a second one, but we're not after the fair.
And could you double check the insurance, that it wouldn't cover damage?
Oh, absolutely.
That's nice to see that they're having that.
Yeah, that's very nice to see, it's great.
It's a step toward concerts. Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
What was the motion? He withdrew his second on my motion.
No, he said
I
it was,
didn't withdraw.
he said it was okay.
I just said I would vote no.
They said that once the insurance, since he had.
Yeah, no, then I said
It's good to
that
go.
as long as they got insurance, if Steve was gonna check. it.
Right.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Because that's what I understood, because the motion was to approve the event, then we had the discussion. Motion and second was approval, we had the discussion, and we never had that other, so I think we're all good.
Right.
We're good.
Okay, is over down there, just committee reports?
Sure. The, 12th and 26th of the board meeting. 18th, CHP executive committee meeting. 19th, safety committee meeting. Well, none of these are all routine, there's really nothing to report on. Then the 26th, PCMC. Regular business at all.
Month of May, union mediation with the deputies that's off to arbitration. The 6th, PCMC executive meeting. 12th, the regular board meeting, 13th. Meeting, well, the quarry with the planning commission, that was the vice chair and chair here. 20th, health and human services. First jailer dispatch negotiations. 26th, regular board meeting, here and PCMC. And, I had, radio board, the 27th. In March.
Yeah.
On the 7th, we had a Prime West up at Alex. And this also was in conjunction with New Crisbo's retirement. Well, too, he has now officially handed over the reins into Matt Magnuson. The transition's going well already. Then on the 11th, so we had plan ops at the hospital. What can I do? On the 13th, had Veterans Memorial meeting. 18th, we had our SMOC board meeting. That one we happen to have in Slate. We do rotate around in the summertime, so we actually to the Slate facility for that. And in fact, next week, then Pipestone's turn will be hosted about health and human services. I've already checked with Stacy. She's got it on her calendar as well too. So on the 20th was Southwest Health and Human Services. Nothing stood out there at all. I don't believe. I mean, it was pretty routine. I mean, yeah. I said 26 hospital boards, company board, and that completed my report for the month of May. Other than on the 30th and 31st, I caught fish.
Any big ones?
Oh, yeah, nice mess up there. Grandkids had fun.
Yes. May 12th, regular meeting, 26th, regular meeting, and hospital at work. So.
And, 4th, and county attorney, regarding the quarry and, had a Zoom update from MRC. On the 5th, they had mediation with the deputies, and that's from arbitration. Had an executive hospital meeting on the 6th, area 2 in our CRCA on the 7th. Plan ops on the 11th. 13th, met with the chair and vice chair of the planning commission, and also had the FHA trustee council. And stuff for the summer conference. 14th, 15th was the AMC Futures. We went to the Capitol to meet legislators, ran into all the gun protesters, and it was unbelievably loud at that. I mean, you thought there was a tornado or building issues were going up the stairs. There was just this roaring noise. And then we get in front of the House chambers and gun protesters screaming. Is what was causing the noise.
What was the protest specifically about?
Oh, they wanted, restrictions on guns and whatnot. It was like moms against guns.
Oh.
Something like that. But, they had TV crews and whatever was there at the moment of, to be in the spotlight. Yeah.
You were very vocal. And then we mostly discussed health and human service issues and, then you got, Senator Weber presented a little on last day to, just tell him about his time in the Senate and how things have changed over the years. And why so many are retiring. On the 18th, updates from both AMC and MRC. Highway 23 coalition was on the 20th. There had been negotiation with Gabriel Dispatchers on the 21st. Hospital board on the 26th. That was about it for me.
I have one, Mr. Chair, I missed, on the 13th, we had, in fact, Steve attended that as well to the city chambers, public hearings for the Head Start building. Permits, driver and stuff, with about all that had been rescheduled, they didn't have the issue on, so we're meeting again, actually this Wednesday. On the public hearing.
They're still planning that for in front of family soon. So.
Yes.
I'll plan on being there too.
Anything else to be brought up today?
Just a little, Mr. Chair, on the grill, I'm gonna keep her today, my daughter has put two books that they, so I'll be available. I'll be available for tomorrow.
We good. Well, we get between 40 and 60 will be good for numbers.
Yeah.
Everybody comes, want everybody to show up. Just a reminder, Thursday, District 8.
Yeah.
Here in Pipestone.
At the golf course.
At the golf course.
9 o'clock.
8 o'clock. And then I did fill out their little report, on what Gene had sent out about what was going on, what we're doing. Here's one of the biggest things on there, and I talked to you guys about it first. The biggest challenge in your county is, and the big thing they had was concerned regarding funding of social services. What are you hearing on social services from the state? I'm sure that'll get talked about out there. But have you heard anything locally for us from
Well,
Stacy or anybody?
in business with Stacy, we're still just in limbo. We don't know.
there's nothing for sure.
It's the cuts that they've already talked about don't go into effect until next year. So we know there's stuff moving, but we don't know how much and what the effects of it are.
It's gonna be big though.
Yeah,
Well, the federal cuts will take like
Yeah.
January 1.
Yeah.
But they just don't know.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
You haven't heard anything about what they're looking at for levy or anything going forward?
I don't think Stacy has. No, I don't.
Yeah.
How can
I'm
you?
sure everybody's gonna talk about it Thursday
Yeah.
anyway, but I'm just gonna let them know we haven't heard anything yet, so.
But it's probably our biggest real.
It's like we have, and that's gonna impact, the stock as well too.
Well, yeah, especially if they do away with some of the programs like we
Right.
talked about, eliminating fuel assistance or
Yeah.
housing assistance or, those are pretty big items that.
Well, even the whole Head Start thing, I can't quite grasp that either. That's part of the Project 2025's specific things on their hit list is to eliminate Head Start. At the same time, we're going through this grant application, build a building for Head Start. I just can't quite comprehend what's going on there.
Well, and Head Start ended abruptly this year, early. For an unknown reason, I don't know what happened, but.
And we had the report then for the ACE group, here a month ago as well too, and again, our funding there. We did get that grant, did come through though from AmeriCorps for seniors. We did get our grant was approved, so that helps. But that was in limbo too, everything is just put that in right now.
Oh, good. And they just want to know about candidate filings. I've got the list on that for the two commissioner districts and the sheriff and county attorney, and then soil and water. District 4 and 5, Bill Folger and Brent Christopher fired, filed, and had no money filing against them, neither did Domain. So, checked with Amanda, because there's something in there about elections and increases, and she's planning on hiring election judges to assist with early voting. That there'll be some overtime paid to staff because we're required to be open extra hours during the elections this year. So there'll be some little bit more cost there, and they needed to order more ballots. They aren't sure if we'll have extra people coming in for early voting, so it is unknown, so there'll be some increased costs, which is gonna be dollar, we don't know. But, And they asked if there's any county events for the American 250 on the 4th of July. We don't have any special plans of our American flags on the courthouse grounds around town as usual for that. No special celebrations or events that we plan.
When is the primary election?
July, excuse me, August 11.
We're not gonna have UFC though. Oh.
Want me to check into that?
Gene Metz had mentioned, for our district meeting coming up Thursday, that he had been approached by some of the candidates for some of the, representatives and so forth, and they wanted to come address our, and then Gene told them that, you know, it's an open meeting, they're welcome to come as a visitor, but no, we're not gonna give them a forum to address us, that's not quite open.
All I had.
Motion to approve.
Okay, move to second, all those in favor?
For me,
Bill, she texted me, she's got to, she had a sick child, probably want to come, so whatever else.